Good morning, good morning. It is Ty, the LinkedIn guy. How is everyone? I have to apologize. Last week, for the bulk of the week, I was out sick. I had a really bad case of tonsillitis, and it made speaking that much more difficult. So took it kind of easy for the last 5 days. Still got a little bit of soreness, but better than it was. Better than it was. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about was the magic bullet theory, and to kind of give you an idea of what this means is about I'd say 7 months back, I had a breakthrough session with a potential client. He'd watched my webinar. He liked the idea of transforming his LinkedIn into a lead generation source. And this guy actually came from a manufacturer, had started up his own firm, and he was actually consulting now to other firms about certain supply chain issues and stuff like that. And it was a pretty good service, actually, and a very specific type of niche. The good thing about it, his clients were there and were abundant. So it made sense that, yeah, absolutely, you could use LinkedIn to reach out to these clients. Now, the issue is, after I went through and kind of, dived into his business and found out where his problems were on LinkedIn, I was able to quickly analyze what he was doing wrong and what needed to be fixed, and kind of showed him exactly what we need to do. Now at the end, he was still like, yeah, it makes sense, it makes sense. But I think if I just fix my profile, everything will kind of work out from there, and I can see, my profile is wrong after speaking with you. I can kind of understand that, and I kind of like, yeah, acknowledged that was an issue, but it was what he couldn't see was that it was one element of a whole process um, that was required to transform for him to make any result off LinkedIn. And this is the thing. And then he went, oh no, I'm going to try. I know there's a guy, he does like, profile reviews and optimization for like, I think it was $700 or something. So he went away. I'm like, okay, fine. Listen, this is, from what I know, it's not going to work. There's so many elements that are not working here for you, that just having a great profile isn't going to change anything. And it's like, if you've got a really, really crappy car, the engine stuff, the windows don't go up and down, the aircon doesn't work, the car stalls every 10 minutes, and then you're like, well, I think if I just put a brand new set of tires on it, everything's going to be fine. This car's going to be awesome. It's going to work. And this was his approach. It was exactly that. It was like looking at the whole and thinking, well, if I just change that, the look of my profile, everything's going to change. Well, the interesting thing is, he reached out to me over the weekend, and I was looking through his profile. The changes were cosmetic, and whoever he had paid really isn't someone who's used LinkedIn as a business tool for generating leads. I didn't want to kind of throw the guy under the bus. It just wasn't optimized. It wasn't a client-facing page. He just made his online resume look a bit nicer. And the thing is, a resume is used for getting a job. And what he was trying to do is get clients. A totally wrong tool for the wrong task. And so I reached out and said, oh, I did these changes, but nothing's really occurred. And I was kind of thinking back to our conversation. I was like, yeah, well, if you want to come on board now, this is what it's going to take. And he still flinched. And I just said, listen, if you're not, I can't want his dream of success more than he wants it, right? Some people just can't be helped. But what was really telling was he finally, he got it. And that's where people aren't, what they're not realizing. And when I speak with them and when my team speaks with them, is that LinkedIn works when you have all the elements in place in congruency with each other, and out the other end of it pops out leads. And what it means is that you've got to start viewing your LinkedIn completely differently than, okay, I just need this profile to look great, or I just need my messages to be answered. It doesn't work like that. every piece of activity on LinkedIn, everything that you do should be geared towards one outcome for you. If you're using LinkedIn as a lead generation source, then everything is in support of getting into a dialogue with an ideal client avatar, taking them through a syntax which is natural, non-spammy, non-salesy, and getting them off into your sales process, whether it's a sales call, whether it's getting them to watch a webinar. But what you've got to really understand is that it's not going to be fixed by a magic bullet. There's not one element that you can suddenly fix and change and think, great, LinkedIn's going to work for me now. You can try it, but I can pretty much guarantee that if you are not hitting these different points, which I'll talk about next, you're not going to get a result. You're just simply not. And it starts off right at the beginning. You've got to make sure that your ideal client avatar is fully locked down. You've got to know who they are, where they hang out, how they hang on LinkedIn, how they are referring to themselves. And then you've got to make sure that you're filtering for only the active players. So only chase those that are actually coming in and using LinkedIn. It's those players that are most conducive to getting into conversations, are most conducive to speaking with you, are most conducive to doing business online. Like, and I use this example all the time, but there's like 84,000 dentists on LinkedIn in the USA. You think, great, that's a lot for me to go after. The fact is only about 670 to 750 of them come in every month and post anything. Now, who do you want to be chasing? The 83,200 that don't even bother, or just focusing on that niche of actual active dentists that are in there that use it? Do you think they're more likely to take messages? Do you think they're more likely to get into conversations with you? Absolutely. And that's the first part of the process, is understanding your ideal client avatar, making sure that's right. And then your knowledge of that avatar, what their pain points are, what their problems are, what the myths about your service may be in the industry, you have to address that on your profile. And that's the second step, is your profile has to be a client-facing page. It has to talk to their pain points. They've got to see themselves in your page. So when they land on your page, they see themselves. They see, okay, this person understands me. He has a solution. He has a solution to the problems that I have. And wow, this is how he does it. And this is what other people are saying about it. Wow. And there's more detail that they can get into once they see themselves in your profile. So your profile has to really change focus from a me and a resume to one that is client facing, that is talking to them. And 90% of your profile, at least, well, say 80% and above, should be about the now, should be about the services that you offer now. So it doesn't just mean, oh, I changed my summary and I think I talk. No, the way you use your experience sections are critical, are absolutely critical for success on LinkedIn. You can optimize it, you can keyword optimize it, you're able to present information on there any way that you see fit. But what it should be doing, it should be client facing, talking about the services that you provide, talking about those pain points that you can fix and that you know how to fix, and showing that this is what other people are saying about me. Really, really important. After you have that locked down, it's then your connection and messaging strategy. How are you reaching out to these people? Are you using the 3 horrible messages that I see over and over and over again on LinkedIn? The first one, hey, let's connect for mutual benefit. Oh, it's horrible. Second one, hey, I'm a LinkedIn lead generation expert. If you need some help with your leads, please book a 15-minute call. Here's a link to my schedule. Or the third one, the value vomit. Hey, I'm Ty, the LinkedIn guy. Here's a download of the 15 top things that you can do to get leads off LinkedIn. And here's a video I made. It's 5 minutes. Just watch it. It's about blah, blah, blah. And then, by the way, if you've got time tomorrow, here's my schedule. Book a 15-minute chat with me. We can find out what works. Those kind of 3 messages, if you're using those kind of 3 variants, they're horrible. They convert so poorly. Stop it now. Start to emulate real life. Think about conversations that we have with people. How do we take people through a conversation? We go through that rapport building. It's the questioning. You can still compress that time scale very, down to a very short period of time on LinkedIn. But you've got to start thinking about your connection and messaging strategy. Are you emulating real life, or are you, emulating what some knuckleheads told you, like send a connection request, wait 3 days, and then like, do you do that in a networking event? Walk up, hi, I'm Tyron. I'll be back in 3 minutes, and I'm going to tell you, what I do. You don't do that, right? And that's the equivalent. Like, send the connection request, wait 3 days because you don't want to see him as spammy, and like, no. Seeing a spammy is because of the pathetic messaging that you do, not because of time. Time is not a factor. Okay, time is not a factor. So once you have that locked down, you've got to start looking at your content. How are you going to nurture these existing leads? What are you going to do to keep these people, you top of mind with these people? Yeah. Are you going to use the LinkedIn inbox? Well, you should, because 100% of messages sent are sent. And almost 100% of messages that are sent in LinkedIn are opened and looked at. So while all these other people are fighting for 15, 20, 25% open rates and bragging about it, you could be dropping your messages inside LinkedIn to your first connections at 100% delivered and almost 100% open rate. Makes sense where to stay, right? So once you have that in place, then it also comes to how to make the process work. And it's speeding up certain elements of it and leveraging your time. There's tools inside LinkedIn that can help you automate stuff, that can find candidates for you, that can bring information to you. There's a whole host of them, but it's learning which ones you need for visibility, for connections, for messaging, for content distribution. Don't be afraid of automation, but use it wisely. And I like to call it guided automation. Use it in a way where you're in command of it. You're not just letting it fly off and do its thing. It's, because it's going to help you achieve your goals, and it's going to get there much faster. It's like, if I give you a big cake mix and I say, okay, here's a spoon, start mixing. It's just going to take ages and ages. But if I give you an electric mixer, you're still using it, you're still there, but it's just speeding up the whole process. That's how you've got to think of automation. And you only automate when you have all those other pieces working, right? When all those other pieces are already converting manually, that's when you automate and you can scale. Because if you're a crappy driver in a Toyota Corolla and I put you in a Ferrari, you're just a crappy driver in a Ferrari. It's the same thing. So make sure that when you're using automation, you're using it in a way which is guided, and that you're actually using it to enhance current results. If you think automation is going to be the key for success and get you better results suddenly, boo-boo, it doesn't work like that. All you will do is amplify crappy results. If you're getting crappy results manually, and then you try to automate and scale, you're going to get crappy results, but on a larger scale. That's not what you want to do. And the final thing is in your workflow, is in your LinkedIn funnel, is really looking at your workflow process. When you go into LinkedIn, how are you using it? Do you have intent? Is there an outcome in mind? Do you set a time limit for your daily use? Are you going in there and running strategies, or are you kind of using intuition? Because once you go in with clearly defined strategies, each time you go in and execute, you stay focused, you get results. It's like pilots. They don't just get into a plane, turn the engine on and fly off. They go through a set of checklists, keeps them focused, and make sure there's no fiery crash at the end. And that's how you've got to see LinkedIn. Every time you go in, you should have intent. They shouldn't be sitting there reading articles about, Trump's orange face or something like that. I mean, you don't need to be wasting time. You need to be in there, focused on your activities and doing all the right things. And the aim of it is all to nurture existing people, engage with those that are most likely to be great for your business, and all in support of getting into dialogues with leads in inbox every single time you go in and use LinkedIn. And from that, you're going to take a percentage off into your sales calls. You're going to put them into your nurturing sequences, whatever you're going to do with them. But you've got to be speaking to people every day. In a B2B situation, you've got to keep your pipe full. You've got to keep that top of funnel full, because without a consistent lead flow coming in, you're going to suffer that feast-famine cycle, right? And when you're in that feast-famine cycle, it's not fun. It's not fun. Unpredictability is horrible in your business. Having a strategy of hope, oh, I hope this next week it's different. Hope some people come. It's not a strategy. You've got to take control of your strategy. You've got to put it in place, and you have to have it set. So every time you go in, you can run your strategies on rinse and repeat and get a predictable result. So the magic bullet theory, guys, there's not one element of LinkedIn. If you fix that one thing, everything flows from there. It doesn't work like that. Each piece has to be worked on. Each piece has to be optimized, and you've got to see it as a funnel. And the great thing about that is you're able then to diagnose your funnel, and you can see where the blockages are occurring, where the problems are occurring. Is it identifying your ideal client avatar? Are you going after the wrong people? Is your messaging sucking? Is your profile sucking? I mean, you can, when you actually have it in pieces and you break it down, it means you can tweak each piece, and you can see the conversions down that funnel get better and better and better. And that's how you've got to be approaching. Right? There is no magic bullet. Not one element is going to make you or break you on LinkedIn. It is having all these pieces working together. That's what's going to crack the code for you on LinkedIn. Now, if that sounds interesting, guys, stop wasting time on the largest B2B platform in the world. I've been on it since April 2004. I've made millions on it from fees generated off LinkedIn in the B2B space. Don't waste time. I've worked out how to do it. If I can help you, I'll absolutely tell you so. My team will show you exactly how we do it. If we can't help you, we'll tell you we can't help you. It's as simple as that. I only want to bring people in that I know we can get you into discussions with your ideal client avatars, and do it with a sense of predictability. So if you need help, book a call with us. Reach out, say, hey, Ty, I need help. Make a note, I need help. And I'll send you some details, get you on a call, and we can see if there's a match. Now, it's only for people that are truly at a point where you are absolutely committed to this. You are not going to waste LinkedIn anymore. You're not going to sit on there getting nothing off the largest B2B platform in the world. You're at a point now where it's like, it's do or die time. It's like, let's crack this, get it open, and let's change it into a lead source for me. And when you make those changes, you see it occur rapidly. Right? These changes will occur rapidly. In my coaching, literally within weeks, you see transformation. So, there's no like, oh, will this work? Let me see, Ty. It's like, no, do this, do that. We can see the result right there on LinkedIn. There's no hiding. Can't hide from you guys. Can't hide from the results. You can see exactly what your output is and what kind of results you get. So if that's something of interest, reach out and we'll see if we can help. All right, guys, have a great start to the week. Hoping my throat gets better. Still feeling a little bit, but much better than last week. So you'll see more of me this week. See you guys.